Once our friend Kyle had flown back from his week-long stay in New Caledonia, we had 5 days to get out of the cyclone zone. Our insurance dictated the zone ended approximately 400 miles away along the rum line to Australia, so there was no time to delay. The next day, we cleared customs, fueled up, and set sail. Well, as you might be able to tell because we're rocking and rolling already, we're on our way.
We are. We have cleared out of New Caledonia. Where are we?
That was a lot of freaking walking to go do all that.
Not the easiest to clear out.
No, but we got it done. We had to go to immigration, customs, and the harbor master. Got all those done.
David did all those.
I did that. Amy got the boat prepped. We went and got some fuel. Starry Horizons is all good to go for fuel.
Yes, and while we were at the fuel dock, Dave from Noumea came up to say hello to us. He was like, "You look familiar. I've seen your videos."
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
We love it when that happens. So
Yeah.
Dave, it was awesome to meet you. Next
Thank
time
you.
around in New Caledonia, we'll find you again, apparently.
Exactly.
But we did get ourselves one little treat. Amy's been holding hers.
We have to spend the rest of our Polynesian francs.
And of course, you got to get some ice cream.
Yeah.
Can't live without ice cream. So we are good to go. We are just about to the pass outside of the reef here in New Caledonia. We are
zooming
blasting, almost doing like 9 knots right now, which is good because there's like a cold front that's supposedly going to be forming down by Sydney by the time we're looking to arrive in Australia. So we're hoping we can beat that if down into Coffs Harbour where we're hoping to go.
Yeah.
If we can't beat it, then we're going to divert north a little bit, probably go towards Brisbane, and we should be just fine getting into Brisbane about whenever. So,
something like that.
There we go.
Yay!
Time to go sailing again.
Yeah.
We weren't the only boat planning to leave that day, and though it wasn't a completely fair race, I was still rather happy to reach the pass first. Outside in the open ocean, we found some pretty amazing sailing conditions. We are just blasting south towards Australia right now. The wind is just like a perfect broad reach. It's about 100 degrees to port, 110 sometimes, but we have been averaging 8 knots for our first almost 6 hours out here at sea. Seen touches up to 10 knots a few times, which is awesome. The wave swell has finally caught around to where the wind is coming from, which is really nice because it's been very bumpy so far. But yeah, it's just a freaking awesome start to the passage, which is kind of nice because it's making me realize that this is our last passage in the South Pacific. You know, once we hit Australia, that's it. Which is really sad because the South Pacific has just been amazing. I can see why people just spend years here, but you know, Australia is going to be awesome. Southeast Asia after that is going to be awesome. There's just so many good places to go see, but hopefully we'll come back here someday. What do we got cooking our first night out at sea?
Super easy dinner. It's ground beef cooked with summer vegetable pasta sauce. And I've got some sauteed onions, some artichoke hearts, or marinated artichoke hearts, and pasta to go with it. So,
simple but delicious, huh?
One pot meal, a little less to clean up.
That's always appreciated because it's we're going really fast, but yeah, it's a little bumpy out here.
Yeah, but it'll be easy.
It always takes a bit of time to adjust to being back out on passage, so an easy first night meal is definitely the way to go. Things started calming down, and the wind shifted a bit the next day, so we were able to do some experimenting with our sail setup.
So, what are we up to?
Well, the winds are dropping a bit, So we are going to work on setting up flying our screecher from the windward bow right now, because the wind is also pretty deep behind us. So I'm gonna go try a little something new. It's in the salon, of course, but I'm gonna rig up a little low friction ring on our forward cleat. It's all the way up on the bow. We're gonna run like kind of an adjustable tack line to be able to control from the winch back here. So that way I can let up the screecher a little bit. I think I'm a little worried about it hitting the bowsprit, so that's where we're gonna give ourselves a little adjustment, and then we'll move the screecher over, run the line back, and deploy. We'll see how it all works out, but we are blasting pretty damn good so far, so if this helps us out even more, that would be awesome.
So we're about 24 hours in.
Yeah.
And how fast have we averaged?
7.75 knots so far, which is a pretty decent start to a passage, but if we keep this up, we will be doing awesome, so we want to make sure we do everything we can to keep it up.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
Got the low friction ring rigged up. I don't want to get it too high, because otherwise the lines might run under the seat here. Go ahead, use this as the adjustable tack line, and now we just need to move the screecher over. Well, it seems like this is working pretty dang well. Had to adjust a couple lines, didn't get film as the sail was coming out, but yeah, our speed has jumped up from doing kind of like mid-7s now to doing mid-8s. So yeah, I'll take that and we'll just keep chugging along for as long as we can like this. You're looking a little dangerous in there. Whoa.
I'm a little dangerous. Just enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I am having a coconut because we husked these coconuts with Kyle and then he decided he was in more of a beer mood. So, yay me, I get 3 coconuts on passage.
Oh, well, thanks again, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle. Ah! Vegetables. Whoa. All right. Well, that's a hole. Oh yeah.
That's a good coconut.
It's got a little bit of the like tonic-y flavor to it, but not too much. Not overwhelming. I like it more on the sweet side. Some people, apparently, I'm looking at you, Galen, from Chi, like it on the tonic-y side.
There's no accounting for taste, huh? Having a fresh coconut is a surefire way to make Amy happy. As for me, sailing fast with an experimental sail configuration definitely does the trick. Getting the screecher over the windward bow is working amazingly well. We do have a bit of a current helping us at the moment, which is always nice, but we are still averaging like mid-8s and touching 9 and 10 pretty damn frequently. So that's putting us on pace for 200-mile day, which would be awesome. Winds are shifting and lightning just a touch, but with the screecher we're still taking advantage of it. So I'm quite happy with how things are working out so far. And every knot we do faster than about 6.8 right now just means we have that much more cushion to get into Coffs Harbour before that cold front hits. So I want to knock on some wood somewhere, but we're doing pretty good so far. we are just absolutely blasting towards Australia right now. It is just amazing. The screecher is still up on the windward bow. We've got the boat set on wind vane to about 120 degrees to port. Full mainsail still. The true wind speeds are roughly around like 17, 18. It's giving us a parent of like 13, 14, depending on kind of the gusts and whatnot. But yeah, the boat's just right with the little wind shifts. It's absolutely perfect, and it's still pointing us right at Coffs Harbour, which is just fantastic. So I think we are about 9 hours into my timing for the day. We were averaging over 8.8 knots, which is just unbelievable for us. So that's pretty damn awesome. I do know that Brent and Anna from the friendly catamaran Impy, they are out here somewhere. We're not quite sure where they're headed. They left New Caledonia the day before us, but I did not see their destination. But I did see that they posted they had managed to do 100 miles in 13 hours. We just did 102 in 12. So you know what they say, 2 boats out on the ocean, it's always a race, even if you're not going to the same place. But yeah, other than that, it's just, you know, it's kind of a boring day when you don't have to do a whole lot of adjustments, just doing some dishes, watching the water rush by. Amy's downstairs napping, but I think she's going to make us a little special treat when she gets up. So yeah, it's pretty good day out. Oh, do you have a special treat ready for us? Nothing like hot pad hands.
Hot pad hands, yay!
Oh, what do we have there?
Banana muffins.
Hell yeah. Whoop. Set them down before they go flying.
Yep. Probably my favorite thing to do with old bananas. I freeze them, which I think they're better after they've been frozen for banana muffins, and then we eat breakfast for like 3 days. And David loves them. So.
Yes, those might not last 3 days.
Maybe not. I have more bananas in the freezer, so I'll make a second batch if we need to, and the bananas will probably get taken when we get into Coffs Harbour. So, we're doing a lot of eating right now.
Another batch definitely necessary. Gotta get rid of all of our food.
Yeah, so when Kyle came, I had like meals planned out, and I bought like 3 servings of meat and portioned them and froze them. And then we caught the stupid fish, not the stupid fish.
So are you complaining over there?
Terry and Teresa. And so we ate tuna like every night. So I have a lot of meat, and if we don't eat it, it'll all get taken away before we get in, or when we get to Australia. So we're having leftovers for lunch, and I'm going to start doing scrambles with sausages and just food galore. Life is real rough. I mean, major first world problem to have. Like, we have too much food because we caught 2 awesome fish. Yeah.
Figured we'd mix things up just a little bit and go with a night update tonight. It is just a little bit after 3 a.m. I came up on watch about 2, so he's been downstairs sleeping. You know, I'm feeling relatively wide awake at the moment, so that's always good. The winds are just still incredibly helpful. Still running about 120 degrees apparent wind angle off to port. True wind speeds are still kind of like the 16, 17, 18, and we're just blasting at like 8.5 knots. So I think we're gonna hit another 200-mile day today, which, to put that in perspective, we've done 2 200-mile days in 3 years of cruising. So to have them back to back is just absolutely flying. It's freaking awesome. And yeah, other than that, not a whole lot to report. We haven't touched the sails in almost 48 hours, which is really rare. I did turn on the underwater lights and got a chance to watch the water flying by the boat. It's always kind of awesome to see like the bioluminescence hit the rudders and sail drives and kind of light up everything. So that was a lot of fun. There's a bunch of clouds out tonight, so not a whole lot of stars. The moon just set. The sun will be rising in an hour and a half-ish or so not a whole lot of darkness, but yeah, it's just freaking awesome going this fast. I kind of like it. The wind was doing its best to help us get out of the cyclone zone, and as the sun rose the next morning, I was eagerly counting down the miles. So, what's the tape say?
Alrighty. 207 miles in the last 24 hours.
Boom! Back-to-back Grand Slam home runs. Which is not physically possible, but yeah, we did it.
An average of 8.25 miles, or 8.25 knots since we left New Man. That's fast.
That's a knot, 1.6 knots faster than what we normally do. No, 1.5 knots.
1.5 knots.
Yeah.
Is that right? We usually average 6.75.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So with an 8.25 knot average for this trip, we are moving and grooving.
Up on our average, baby.
Yes.
I like it. I'm not sure we're gonna hold out for a third day though. The wind's gonna start shifting on us. But
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
oh, I'm having a great couple of days. We are still sailing with the screecher over on the windward bow. I just cannot believe how long we've been able to stay on this exact same point of sail. The wind has shifted just a little bit and it's increased a touch. So we're seeing true wind speeds occasionally bumping up to 18, 19, 20 or so. But combined with the shifting wind, we've just combated that by now we're sailing at a wind angle of about 132 degrees, which is pretty easy. So yeah, it's just amazing how long we've been able to stay on this point of sail. I'm anticipating that the winds will continue to shift a bit throughout today, probably overnight. So we'll see how deep we can sail, but we might have to jibe to do a last kind of jet in towards Coffs Harbour. We'll see how it all works out. Okay, the wind has officially started to shift. I think that cold front that's way down by Sydney is starting to affect the wind by us. So we're starting to point too far east to head into Coffs Harbour. We're going to be adjusting the sails for Amy's watch to go to wing on wing, which means we have to move the screecher back to the bowsprit so we can then do the 2 head sails out to each side of the boat. So we're going to do that, drop the main, pull the Genoa out, and then when I come up for my watch, we'll reevaluate if we want to go back to screecher on the windward bow, but jibing so we'd be on a starboard tack.
All right, let's do this.
The screecher moved back to the bowsprit. We're pulling the Genoa out. We're gonna get it nice and tight, get up on a close reach, use the Genoa to kind of like luff the mainsail, let the main sheet out quite a ways, drop the main, come back down, then we'll pull the 2 head sails out. And we won't have to turn on an engine, which is pretty awesome.
Close reach?
Close hauled. We got the sails up. We're now sailing a little further to the west of Coffs Harbour, but my hope is that as the wind kind of continues to shift around to the north, that should point us pretty much straight towards it. We're not going to get a 200-mile day today because we're definitely going slower. We're doing 7 knots right now, which is not too bad, but still too slow for 200 miles. But that's all right. I guess a little more excitement at the end of the day than I thought there might be.
We've got our wind vane set to 177 degrees to starboard. So we've got our screecher on the port side and our Genoa on the starboard side.
And that way, hopefully the autopilot will keep the screecher just a little bit more full because that one's a less forgiving sail than the Genoa.
Yeah, so now it's time for my watch. You get to go to sleep.
Woohoo! And it's actually light out. That's kind of weird.
Light out. And look at my view here. David, get out of the way. I can't see anything but the sails practically. Sometimes it's better to go downstairs.
So sad.
Yep.
Not quite entirely sure whether or not that's gonna be our last sunrise at this passage. The speeds we had been going, it definitely would not be. We're about 155 miles outside of Coffs Harbour right now. We're still with the wing-on-wing headsail setup, which is working well, but I think we've run into a bit of a counter current and it's slowing us down. Plus just going dead downwind is always kind of slow. If the winds do shift around as I'm predicting today, then we could potentially get back with a screecher over on a windward bow to wrap up, and that would speed us up. See how it goes. But at the very least, I think we're going to make it into Australia before that huge cold front kind of works its way up the coast, and that's kind of what I was most concerned about. So I'll take that as a victory. Since this was our last full day on passage, we started to prepare for our arrival into Australia. We still hadn't managed to eat through all the food on board, but we made sure to enjoy the best of what was left. Okay, we got last night on passage. What are we doing to celebrate?
We are eating the nicest stuff we have left because food's gonna get thrown away when we get there. So tonight is steak night.
Steak night?
Steak night.
Oh, I love that show.
So yeah, we have these really nice, I'm sure Australians would call them Scotch fillets, that I bought in Noumea. So we're gonna have steak for dinner. Ready?
Ooh, I hear the sizzle. Oh, there it is.
That's your steak.
It needs to cook a little bit longer.
The medium steak. The horror.
I know. So sorry.
Ta-da!
Well, let's get this water out of the way. There we go. Can enjoy the full glory of the steaks. All right, babe. After our delicious night of steaks, what did we do to prep for our last night at sea here?
So we have changed our sail plan up. We were on wing, and now we've gone to a broad reach. And you call it a broad reach or a deep reach?
Yeah, it's deep-ish.
Yeah, okay. We're 130 degrees.
That's pretty deep.
That's pretty deep. So we've got a reef in the main and the full Genoa out. And we are pointing slightly north of Coffs Harbour because we suspect that the EAC is gonna shoot us south.
And for those who haven't seen Finding Nemo, what's the EAC?
Eastern Australian Current.
Boom. We're gonna be on the lookout for Nemo though, or at least Marlin.
Marty?
Marlin, the clownfish.
Oh, right.
His dad.
Sorry.
Nemo went in a boat.
I know.
Marlin rode with
Touch the butt.
Touch the butt.
Alright, yes, we are close to the EAC, and we can see it because there's shipping traffic. Not a lot, but there's some big ships out there. So, I mean, we haven't seen anything for like 3 days except for birds and water. So maybe we'll see a ship tonight.
Hoping for a little more social interaction rather than just me
yeah, well,
and
you
your
know,
books.
it can kind of be boring. You want to know how many books I've read?
Alright, we're up to a dozen now.
No. Tonight I'm going to finish my 8th book.
Good God.
Since we left Noumea. So, yeah. It's been a lot of reading. There's not much else to do.
We are just under 13 miles from the Australian coast at the moment, and it's making it a little challenging to finish the last few miles. We've got a squall that's rolling through. We're in the EAC, which is pushing us south pretty far, so we're actually pointing at like 47 degrees apparent wind angle to sail towards the coast. Yeah, the last few miles are always the toughest, I guess, but we will make it definitely today. Feeling pretty confident about that prediction. And I think we're gonna pick up a mooring. Apparently there's a few free ones kind of right by an old jetty. We're not 100% sure where we need to go to clear customs, so we'll
grab one in the mornings, get a few hours of sleep, call the marina in the morning, and get everything all figured out.
I don't usually like arriving to new places at night, but the entrance into Coffs Harbour is wide open and very easy to navigate. Amy came back up to help, and we had no problems dropping the anchor.
You look a little tired there, babe.
I'm awake.
Awake enough. We're anchored outside Coffs Harbour. It's like all the moorings were taken, but
Well, there's only 2 moorings, it looks like.
apparently,
So.
yeah, not good odds.
Yeah. But we're here. We're in Australia.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
And now we get to go to sleep for a couple hours before we have to clear customs, huh?
Yes, hopefully.
This passage ended up being our fastest one ever, as we covered the 877 nautical miles in a bit over 4.5 days and averaged 7.76 knots. That may not be gunboat territory, but we were pretty damn pleased.
Hey y'all, hope you enjoyed our fastest passage ever down to Australia. I gotta admit, it was kind of fun going that fast, so that may get a little bit addicting. I don't know. We also wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who bought t-shirts from our most recent t-shirt campaign. We ended up donating $400 to the Tangaroa Blue Foundation here in Australia, which is just amazing. So thank you guys so much for all your support. We really appreciate it. We are still here in Australia touring around and enjoying ourselves. So if you're interested in keeping track of our recent whereabouts, check out our blog or our Facebook page. We'll have links in the description down below. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.